For Disney World, there was Coney Island. More on that in a minute.
Yeah, there is a charm about Coney, its rides, and what it meant to so many of us growing up.
Yeah, that's why not everyone is exactly happy that those rides are now coming down. Brad Underwood is at Coney Island with a look at what's ahead. Brad, interesting turn of events here today.
Yeah, dropping this news just a couple of weeks before the end of the season, so to speak. You talk about change in Cincinnati. People, they don't like that and not happy, many not happy with the idea of all these rides going, disappearing. They've been around since the 1920s, but over the years, Coney Island has seen its fair share of name and amenity changes, but for the leadership here at the park, the smart move, it's time to capitalize on what they say is more popular by the guests, and that's the water attractions. Just yesterday, Coney Island says 5,000 people came to the park, and on a hot summer day, Sunlite Pool is the place to be. And because the pool is so popular and the rides aren't, things are changing.
The last 2 years, it's kind of flatlined on the park side of things operationally.
After decades of rides and games, Coney Island says it's time to focus on being great at one thing rather than split time, effort, and money on two things. So the rides will go away and the water park will get bigger.
It'll be a sad time for many of us here at Coney, but as I said before, it's also an exciting time seeing us turn the page for a new chapter.
A new chapter in a long history of good old-fashioned fun. In the late 1800s, it was Parker's Grove, a picnic destination for families and tourists off the river. In the 1920s, Sunlite Pool and all the rides and carnival games moved in. Coney was the ultimate recreation destination. So much so that Walt Disney cut the park a check in 1954 just to come see it. The check was for 79 cents. And I think we all know what Disney did next.
As we move forward, I think they'll begin to see it, not only aesthetic differences inside Sunlite Water Adventure, but we will begin adding additional attractions.
And space for more family events like Appalachia Fest and Summer Fair.
Coney Island is staying. That, I think, is the important thing we need people to understand. It's staying, it's just growing for the future and changing to modify to the different tastes that the public wants.
Now, it's not like they're bringing in a bulldozer and just knocking everything on the ride side or the dry side of the park, as they call it. All the buildings will remain. Moonlight Gardens will remain. The putt-putt course will stay. They're just getting rid of all the rides and the carnival games. You talk about a business move. Certainly not a bad decision considering expanding a popular water park that, for many of the people who come here already, it's a lot closer than going up to Mason. So if you're feeling nostalgic and you want to come back and hit those rides for one last time, you have the next 2 weekends to do so. Reporting live at Coney Island, Brad Underwood, Local 12 News. Adam?
All right, Brad, thanks. I think a lot of people will be lining up for that. The rides will start coming down after Fire Up the Night. That's on the 21st. The goal is to have the overhaul complete by 2025, just in time for the 100th anniversary of Sunlite Pool.